NXT last night. NXT last night was a great show as usual. We got the first ever Women's Dusty Rhodes Classic. We got the Men's Tag Team Dusty Rhodes Classic. The Women's Tag Team Dusty Rhodes Classic. And we got Lucha House Party defeating Imperium in the Dusty Rhodes Classic. They move on to round 2. Also, Ruff and Kushida also moves on to round 2. So they're going to be facing the Grizzled Young Veterans on next week's NXT. And we also got the fight pit and much more. We're going to go over it all right here on my Ingram Wrestling News YouTube channel. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Brendan and I am live with your January the 20th, 2021 NXT review. So before we get started, be sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and follow me on Twitter at Ingram Wrestling News. Follow me on Twitch at Ingram Wrestling News. Follow me on Twitter at Ingram Wrestling, because that's my name. Now, my Twitter account name is Ingram Wrestling News, as some of you followers that have me followed on Twitter know. Also, subscribe to my Twitter for another reason, because I'm on the road to 200 subscribers. Well, I'm on the road to 1,000 subscribers. I'm dangerously close to 200. Excuse me, I got that wrong. I can't believe I actually got that wrong for the very first time. Oh my God, I feel bad. And not to mention, I got my Facebook back. I'm happy for that. To that person who had access to my Facebook, you gotta be the most complete fucking idiot I've ever fucking seen. You're a complete fucking idiot and an asshole, and I hope you get held accountable for having access to my Facebook. I don't know how that person had access to my Facebook, but it happened. I just know that. It happened. Facebook didn't tell me specifically who it was. I don't even want to know who it was right now. I just don't. I'm just happy that I got it back. So, those of you Ingram Wrestling fans of mine, my moderators, my Ingram Wrestling News subscribers, my Ingram Wrestling News YouTube moderators, you don't have to be worried anymore. Because my Facebook, I got it back. Thanks to Facebook. Gotta thank Facebook for that, man. The Lord must have answered my blessings, apparently. He must have answered my prayers. Because, man, if I had not got my Facebook back, man, I think I would go the heck off. That Facebook account is very important to me. That's my very first Facebook account. I have another one, but that other one I don't use. My very first one I use. I use that one. But I'm just glad I got it back, man. Ladies and gentlemen, if you missed my Monday Night Raw review from this Monday, please be sure you go check that out and leave a like on that. Man, I had one of my best Monday Night Raw reviews this week. I think that review this week was one of my best, in my opinion. Not the greatest, but it was the best. So, we're going to go ahead and get to the NXT review here. Going to go ahead and get started. So, I'm guessing you already know what NXT kicked off with, right? I know too. This week NXT opens up with a look back at last week's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic with the men's matches. Now, we saw two more men's matches. And Austin Theory. Former North American champion and throws him. So Ruff counters Theory and escapes from a crucifix attempt to hit a drop kick. Ruff grabs Theory and makes a tag to Kushida. Well, actually, Ruff grabs Theory and makes a tag to Kushida so they can snap Theory's arm over their shoulders. Hey, at least I got it right. I thought I was going to get it wrong. That's why. But anyways, Kushida twists Theory's arms behind his back using his legs and snaps them again. Now, Kushida continues to work on the left arm of Theory until Austin drops him and tags Gargano. Johnny keeps Kushida grounded and stomps him over and over before taunting Leon Ruff. And by the way, I am sorry for the delay, man. When I tried to go live, I got an error, but then here I am. I tried it again. Here I am live. So, just thought I'd let you know that. I should have let you know that before the review, but I do my usual thing before I start the review, my introduction. You know how it goes. But Kushida fires back with right hands, but Gargano makes a tag to Theory, who comes in with a big shotgun dropkick. Theory whips Kushida hard into the buckles and keeps him there before tagging Gargano, and they hit double team back elbows and poses as the way. Theory and Gargano makes use of quick tags and isolate Kushida until he counters a suplex and tags Ruff. Leon comes in hot with a dropkick, flying forearms, and an enziguri to Theory. Ruff knocks Gargano off the apron and jumps at Theory, but gets caught on the shoulders and hit with a spin out powerbomb for a near fall. It goes to commercial break. So, folks, before I read the rest of it, I'm going to go ahead and upload my thumbnail because I want y'all to see what my thumbnail actually looks like. My thumbnail that I made for the video, I want y'all to see it. I really do. So I'm going to go ahead and edit video, and I'm going to go ahead and upload my thumbnail. I should have did it before I started, but again, I wasn't thinking, because last night I was depressed and angry because someone had access to my account, my Facebook account. I was pissed. I was crying. I was actually crying last night too, because that account was very serious, man. I had that account for years, man. For years I've had that Facebook account, man. I was thinking about that, man. That really, I kind of got heartbroken with when I realized that someone had access, because someone was looking to, I don't remember what, but I know that it got accessed. But anyways, it went to commercial break and back live. Soon as the thumb. Let's see who's in the chat while my thumbnail's loading here. Oh, we got two people watching. That's nice. Two, those of you, the two people that's watching, welcome to. Feel free to answer whatever questions you have, and I will answer them at the end of the review. If you have any questions about NXT and about my Raw review this week, about what went down on Raw, please feel free to comment in the chat. I will gladly answer it. If you have any questions on as to who my favorite WWE female or male superstar is, please comment it in the chat, and I will answer that at the end of the review as well. Reminder before I continue reading, at the end of the review, I will answer your questions. I'm going to see who's in the chat, who comments. So if you want me to answer your questions, I suggest you comment on the chat. Comment the question in the chat so I can answer them at the end. Anyways, back from commercial break, back to the review. Gargano is in control of Ruff with a sleeper hold. And I killed it the way I said it. Gargano breaks up a rally with a neck breaker that makes the tag to Theory. Now, the Way tried to double team Ruff, but he avoids them both and tries to make a tag, but Gargano pulls Kushida off the apron. They grab Ruff and hits a backbreaker, followed by a running neckbreaker from Gargano for a near fall. Theory hits Ruff. He lifts Ruff up, but Leon pulls himself into the ropes and hits a springboard uppercut, or cutter, however you want to call it. Kind of the same to me. I don't know about you all. Kushida and Gargano get tags, and the former champion hits a double leg takedown and unloads. Theory comes back, but Kushida kicks him over and over, followed by a springboard back elbow. Theory and Gargano roll outside, and Kushida springboards onto them on the floor. Kushida gets Gargano back inside and eats a rolling kick to the face. Gargano looks for a powerbomb, but Kushida counters into an armbar. Johnny flirts with taping, but Theory breaks the submission. Kushida tosses Theory from the ring, but Gargano clocks him with an enziguri. But Theory tags in and hits an Oshigoroshi, followed by a super kick for a near fall. The Way look to hit a double team. Let me remind you, the Way is a stable, just to let y'all know that. I know y'all are thinking, what is he? Why is he saying the Way so many times? It's a stable. The members are Johnny Gargano, Austin Theory, Candice LeRae, and Indy Hartwell. To those of you that don't know who the members are of the Way, of this stable. Now, the way looked to hit a double team, but Ruff intervenes and knocks Theory to the outside and dives onto him. Kushida and Gargano go back and forth with reversals until Kushida hits an arm trap, fisherman suplex, and scores the pinfall. So we got Kushida and Leon Ruff moving on to the second round to face the veterans in the second round of the Dusty Classic next week on NXT. Now, let me know in the comments down below on what you think of Kushida and Leon Ruff going against the grizzled young veterans next week for next week's NXT. I think that match is going to be really good. I think it's going to be interesting. The young veterans are going to win it. Remember when I gave y'all my opinion on who's going to win the men's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic? Well, I'm going to tell you again. I am going for the grizzled young veterans. I think the grizzled young veterans are going to win it, and I think they deserve to win this Dusty Rhodes Classic for a reason. This Dusty Rhodes Men's Tag Team Classic. They are one of the best tag teams in the division right now, and they absolutely deserve to win it for that reason. They're one of the best tag teams in the NXT tag team division, man. Seriously. They are, let's not forget, for fuck's sakes, they are former NXT UK tag team champions. I could see them as future NXT tag team champions as well. And I'm hoping some of you that are grizzled young veteran fans agree with me on this. Because I know you got to be fans of Zach Gibbs and James Drake. Now, my thoughts and comments on this match. It was an absolutely incredible opener with Kushida and Gargano, obviously, in particular, shining massively. Now, folks, that is now 2 pinfall victories Kushida has over Gargano. Now, he should almost certainly be the next in line to the North American title and should leave TakeOver finally having captured a title in NXT. That's my comments, my thoughts on that right there. In my opinion, I think he's going to be the next North American champion. He should. Folks, the thumbnail, it's uploaded. It's been uploaded. I uploaded it about 5 minutes ago. So, all you got to do is exit out the video, click back on it, and you'll see the thumbnail. Leave your comments down below on what you think of the thumbnail, man. I hope you love it. It is legit. I made it the best I could possibly make it. Ingram Wrestling News is not only the best when it comes to his Ingram Wrestling News videos. I'm the best when it comes to thumbnails as well. So, you are all welcome. These thumbnails and these NXT, Smackdown, and Raw reviews are for you all. The Raw, NXT, and Smackdown reviews are for my Ingram Wrestling News fans, subscribers, viewers. For anybody who's a fan and who's inspired by me and my channel. But anyways, moving on to the next one, folks. So we get a promo from Pete Dunne in which he says he and Finn Balor came from the same place, but Balor left NXT while he helped build it into what it is today. Balor knows he is the real threat to his reign, and this time Finn can't just run away. Now this time he will pass the torch. And when they finally meet, when they finally meet, people will realize Balor is just a part of Dunn's legacy. Now, goes commercial break. Malcolm Bivens is interviewed backstage, and he says Tyler Rust is the future of NXT, a future champion. Rust comes out of William Regal's office and says he got a match with Bronson Reed tonight. Bivens looks worried and says that's not the way he would have went, but that's what he said. So we got Karrion Kross with Scarlett ringside versus Ashante Adonis with Desmond Troy at ringside. Now this match, as you all know, was obviously a squash match. I mean, we all know, you should all know, every single one of you in the IWC community that watches NXT should all know how long squash matches last. They usually last like, what, 6-7 seconds? That's exactly how they last. I think it's just freaking hilarious how these squash matches last. Wouldn't you agree? It's freaking hilarious nowadays, man. I'm telling you. No shit. So, the match begins and Ashante dives onto Kross with a headlock, but Kross hits a float over suplex. Then a Saito suplex. The referee checks on Ashante, but Kross quickly grabs him and hits another Saito suplex. Kross takes to the corner and redeems himself. Then hits the running forearm to the back of the head and scores the pinfall. Folks, undefeated, unapologetic. The match ended before it even started. Oh, man. Seriously. A simple yet effective method of establishing Kross's dominance. Now, however, folks, it must be said, me, Ingram Wrestling News, myself and I, I am somewhat over the repetitive squash matches. I'm tired of seeing them on my TV, first of all. And second of all, Kross is the complete deal. But please bring him into a story, because otherwise it feels like we are back at the stage he was pre-debuted. Seriously. I wonder what's going to happen with the match between Balor and Kross. I'm interested to see that. We got Pete Dunne versus Finn Balor versus Kross. Book it. We want to see it. We want to see how it's going to turn out. Now, Finn Balor may ultimately get dominated and squashed. Balor might have something up his sleeve. We never know. Who knows? But I still think Kross is going to regain his champion. I think he's going to get his title back. So, enough said. Moving on. MSK cut a sit-down promo in a ring, and they start off by joking. They say they are finally in NXT, and they are not going to let this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity slip by. Mercedes Martinez and Toni Storm cut a promo saying they don't give a damn about friendships. They make fun of Kacy, Catanzaro, and Kayden Carter and say two real women will progress. So we got the first round of the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. No, I'm just joking. I'm just playing with y'all. We got the first round of the Men's Dusty Rhodes Classic, folks. But this is the second first round of it. Because remember, we had Kushida and Leon Ruff versus Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory. Now we got Imperium versus Lucha House Party. After that match, that's when we had the first Women's Dusty Rhodes Classic. Now, the match gets on the way with Barthel and Dorado. I'm just joking. Seriously. You know I'm hilarious sometimes. And Barthel pushes him. Yes, he pushed him. He did. He pushed him to the corner before taking a front face lock. I know some of y'all's reaction. You're probably like, what? He pushed him? Yeah, he did. Barthel hits a suplex. It takes a wrist lock. Dorado counters him, but runs into a forearm. So once he ran into a forearm, Barthel hangs Dorado on the bottom rope and chokes him with a boot. Dorado fires back with some rather defining chops and flips over him to tag Grand Metal Leak. I guess it kind of makes sense as to why Lucha House Party is on NXT. Kinda does, kinda doesn't. But Metal Leak jumps on Dorado's shoulders and hits a splash to Barthel for a splash. Heiner gets a tag and catches Metal Leak with an arm drag and stomps him down. Heiner catches a flying Dorado and hits a gutbuster. Metal Leak and Barthel gets tags. And the Luchas come in fast and furious. Dorado jumps over the ropes at Heiner, but gets caught and body slammed on the floor. Imperium then hang Metal Leak in the tree of wound. He hits stereo drop kicks to his head. Whoa. Whoa! I guarantee you that had to hurt. Commercial break, back live. And Imperium are still in firm control. Barthel tags in and takes a rear chin lock on Dorado. Barthel puts Dorado on the top rope, but Lance kicks him back and hits a swinging tornado. And both men are down. Tags made to Heiner and Metal Leak. And the latter hits a springboard crossbody. Metal Leak is whipped to the corner, but flips over to the apron where he hits an enziguri and a walk along the ropes into a Hurricane Rana. Now Metal Leak springboards off multiple ropes to hit a moonsault to Heiner for a 2 count. Barthel tags himself in, catches Metalik in a wheelbarrow so Hyder can hit a diving DDT. But Dorado breaks the pin attempt. Barthel puts Metalik on the top rope and tags Hyder for an assisted suplex. But Metalik lands on his feet and tags Dorado. The Luchas hit a dropkick into a powerbomb for a near fall. Hyder whips Dorado to the corner and tags Barthel. And they hit stereo slams. Barthel gets the tag and they hit a spine buster running kick for a near fall. Dorado lands a super kick to Barthel. Then goes up top for a shooting star press and the win. Now, this was a pretty good match between these two, man. You know what? I'm starting to get impressed with the NXT Tag Team division now. I feel like they are doing more better than the Raw and SmackDown men's tag team division. I mean, let's be honest. Given both divisions got only 2 teams. And NXT has, what, 6, 7 teams in their division now? I think it's 6 teams in their division. Should be 6 of them. You got Imperium, Lucha House Party, Young Grizzled Veterans, Legado del Fantasma. Let's see what else. Who else? That's 4. I guess we got Gargano and Austin Theory. They're a team. That's 5 because they're the way, the stable. Oh, MSK. That's 6. So that's 6 tag teams. I was right. Look at that. Bam. Bingo. Ding dong. Sorry, Bailey. I had to use your phrase real quick. That's 6 tag teams in the division right there. Kushida and Leon Ruff are not really a team. Just throwing it out there. Neither is Isaiah Swerve Scott and Jake Atlas. They just got paired up into teams. They're not really a tag team division. They're not really a team. But anyways, this was an incredible match. I expected a glorified squash with the somewhat cold team of Imperium particularly advancing. Instead, what we got, folks, was some incredible tag team wrestling with a pure clash of styles. And following the Shot Babyface win, we got a new story unfolding involving Imperium. Now, the question that is raising now, folks, is how long until Walter is back over in NXT? Because all signs point there now. Yes, all signs definitely point there. Now, we see a footage of an unofficial... I'm just playing. We can see a footage of official waiting for Tomasso Ciampa. And Timothy Thatcher from earlier last night, with an incredible amount of flash bolts going on. I call it flash builds. I mean, Tomasso Ciampa was holding up his, muscles, showing off. I don't know if he was trying to get the ladies or not. I don't know. Tomasso Ciampa. I don't think you were pulling off the ladies. I think you failed. Timothy Thatcher is definitely not getting the ladies. Oh my goodness. Thatcher shoves Ciampa, but referees get between them. They face off in the main event inside the fight pin last night. And we're going to go over that. I'm going to give you my thoughts and comments on that at the end of the review when we get to the main event. Warrior Ring introduces Beth Phoenix on the stage. And she says she is very proud to be here as NXT makes history again. NXT has been at the forefront of the women's revolution, where stars like Becky Lynch, Asuka, Charlotte Flair, the android. You know the one that won the NXT Women's Championship, right? The one that Rhea Ripley lost to and got completely buried and wasted. Yeah. So Becky Lynch, Asuka, Charlotte Flair, Bayley, the role model, former SmackDown Women's Champion, Shayna Baszler, former NXT Women's Champion, and more have originated. She says these women went on to main event pay-per-views, even including WrestleMania. So without further ado, she kicks off the first round of the Women's Dusty Classic. So we got the first ever Dusty Rhodes Women's Tag Team Classic. Round 1. We got Toni Storm, Mercedes Martinez. We got the team of those two versus the team of Kacy, Catanzaro, and Kayden Carter. Now, obviously, both teams are not really a team. I think Kacy and Kayden Carter are a team. I think NXT is trying to develop them into a team. Now, I don't remember what their team name is specifically. I just know they're a team. That's all I freaking know at this point. Hey, spoiler alert. I hate to break it to you, but Mercedes Martinez and Toni Storm didn't win that match. The truth will be revealed at the end of this match, man. I'm telling you. Wow. That was a shocking upset, man. You all are going to find out the truth after I read to you what happened with this tag team match. I can tell you right now, Kacy Carter and Lacey Lane Lacey Lane, known as Kayden Carter, they both did most of the work in the ring. Oh my goodness. I hate to admit it. I hate to say it, but NXT made Toni Storm and Mercedes Martinez look like embarrassments in the ring. I'm not kidding. No shit. It just looked like NXT were barely using Toni Storm and Mercedes Martinez on TV last night. I feel really bad for Mercedes Martinez and Toni Storm, who lost that match. I mean, they absolutely both deserve their pushes on the NXT women's rosters. But anyways, the match begins with Storm and Carter. And they lock up. Kayden takes the back, but Storm shrugs her off and hits a drop kick. Storm takes Carter to her corner and tags Mercedes. Storm and Mercedes assault Carter and score a quick 1 count. They only had a 1 count. Now you are not going to damage them one time and pin them and expect that they're going to not going to kick out, because you know they are. So that's exactly what happened. Carter kicked out and won. That's exactly what happened. Kayden kicks Mercedes back, drop toe hold. Then her and Carter hit a double kick to Martinez. Kacy hits a slingshot Topi for a 2 count. Mercedes drops Kacy with a chop to the chest, then shoves a boot in her face and drops her with an European uppercut. Martinez applies a rear chin lock and holds her down. Kacy tries to fight back but gets slammed. Catanzaro reverses Martinez with a tilt-a-whirl Gallatin, but Mercedes lifts her up for a power slam and a 2 count thanks to Carter's interference. Now, back live from commercial break. Storm is in control of Kacy and drops her with a forearm before tagging Martinez. Mercedes hits a release suplex and Catanzaro rolls to the corner, where Storm hits a running hip attack. Mercedes backs Kacy to the corner and chops her before putting her on the top rope. Mercedes gets Kacy on her shoulders, but Catanzaro counters with a spinning Hurricane Rana off the top. Carter gets the tag and comes in hot against Storm. Carter hits a drop kick to Mercedes that also splashes Storm on the mat. Carter drops Storm on the bottom rope and hits a running face wash. Not a wash machine. Face wash. Carter with a roll up for a 2 count. Then comes back with a basement drop kick to Storm. Martinez runs in, but Kacy knocks her from the ring and hits a spinning crossbody. Storm meanwhile catches Carter with a headbutt and looks to apply a Boston Crab with the foot on the back. Io Shirai appears at ringside and pulls Mercedes off the apron and throws her over the announce desk. Storm saw her, but apparently the referee didn't. Carter takes advantage of the distraction and drops Storm, then tags Kacy. Catanzaro hits an insane and dangerous spinning Phoenix splash where she landed on Storm's back with her and won the match. Yes. Kacy, Catanzaro, and Kayden Carter picked up a shocking upset victory over Toni Storm and Mercedes Martinez thanks to the help of Io Shirai. Now tell me, does anybody in the chat think they cheated or what? I'm just asking. I mean, even though they cheated, I mean, they deserve a win. They still deserve a win. I'm not going to shit on that. But I am going to shit on the fact that they wasted Toni Storm, Mercedes Martinez on TV for absolutely no reason. Now, that's Toni Storm and Mercedes Martinez's first loss on the NXT Women's roster. Oh my goodness. I hope they are not going to turn Storm back face and have her feud with Mercedes Martinez, because if they're going in that direction, that is not going to look good for the division. That is going to have the division confused and wondering, why did WWE do this and that and then go do this and that, and you know, that's going to have all the IWC fans in the community confused as to why they would turn her face to have a feud with Mercedes Martinez. They give Mercedes Martinez another feud. It wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense. Now it makes sense for Io Shirai to come out because she's feuding with Mercedes Martinez. But something tells me they're going to involve Toni Storm in this Io Shirai and Mercedes Martinez feud. Don't you think? Don't you guys have this? Don't you all have this feeling that they are going to involve Toni Storm in this Mercedes Martinez and Io Shirai feud, and we could ultimately see a triple threat match? We could see Toni Storm versus Mercedes Martinez versus Io Shirai. That's what I think is going to happen for the next NXT pay-per-view. Now, let me know in the comments section below on your thoughts on that. And on your thoughts on Kacy, Catanzaro, and Kayden picking up that shocking upset victory over Toni Storm and Mercedes Martinez. Now, my thoughts and comments on this. This was a really good tag team match. Most notably, completely unique to the other two tag team matches on the show. Now, Kacy and Kayden have unreal chemistry and showed it well. They benefit massively from this win, and due to the nature and grander scheme of I think, to me, it bothers it kind of, and you got to think, what if the possibility of them, what if the possibility of them adding Toni Storm to this Mercedes Martinez and Io Shirai feud? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking here. But anyways, Dakota Kai and Raquel likely await the duo of Carter and Catanzaro in the semis, which, you know what I mean by semifinals, which could be an incredible clash of styles and storytelling. I agree with it. I think it will. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So we got Finn Balor approaching William Regal backstage and asks for Dunn. He says he wants Larkin and Birch first so he can cut off the arms, then the head. Regal tells him he needs friends, but Balor says that's the old him. He doesn't have any friends anymore. Regal tells him to keep his friends close. Commercial break. Catanzaro and Carter get interviewed backstage and reiterate that they're going to win the whole Dusty Rhodes Classic. They don't know that yet until they get through Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. I'm just throwing it out there. Whoever they're going against next week. They say they just took out two of the toughest women in the tournament, and they're going to win. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with getting happy over a win, So we got Bronson Reed versus Tyler Rust. One of the newest upcomers from the NXT Performance Center. One of the new recruits. Getting his push. Apparently, getting his apparent push on the men's roster. In the men's division. On NXT. I wonder what's going to happen with Tyler Rust and Malcolm Bivens going forward, though. And I'm wondering if you all are thinking the same here. So we got Bronson Reed versus Tyler Rust. The bell rings and Rust takes the wrist, but Reed no-sells it and turns the tables. Reed takes a headlock and Rust tries to shoot him off, but he can't. Reed hits the ropes and hits a massive shoulder tackle that sends Rust flying out of the ring. Bivens gives Rust some advice and sends him back inside, but Reed immediately kicks him and hits a military press into a gutbuster. Reed hits a reverse fallaway slam and Rust rolls to the apron. Reed pulls Rust up by the hair but gets his arm snapped over the top rope. Rust then gets inside and targets the arm with kicks and uppercuts. The camera cuts to the backstage area where Io Shirai and Toni Storm are brawling with referees trying to separate them. Bronson Reed fires back with forearms, then hits a big body block and a choke slam for a near fall. Reed heads to the top rope and Rust hits him with a pump kick. Rust gets Reed on his shoulders and hits a Samoan drop for a 2 count. Rust looks to hit a skull-crushing finale, but gets shoved off and hit with a senton. Reed heads up top and hits a tsunami for the win. Something tells me Tyler Rust is inspired by Miz with that skull-crushing finale. Something tells me he got that move from the Miz. He somehow he had to be training with the Miz in the Performance Center. Something tells me he had to be training with the Miz. You know, one of the talents on the Monday Night Raw roster, right? The guy that does Miz TV and dirt sheets every Monday nights. You know, which seemingly is the reason why the ratings are going to an all-time low. Is one of the reasons why the ratings are dropping anyway. Miz and Morrison in their, dirt sheet and Miz TV. You know how boring that gets, watching that. Oh my God, it just makes you want to pick up the remote and change the channel. But anyways, this was a good match for Bronson Reed. It's a good win for him. But this was a bad loss for Tyler Rust. Because he's just now starting. He's a young rookie, man. He's just now coming up on the, to the NXT roster. He's just now starting. He's just now getting his push. I just don't think it was right for him to lose. This was basically a standard NXT glorified squash match that we all, as fans, have seen for years now. Rust and Bivens are a good pairing, in my opinion. I think they are. And Reed needs to sink his teeth into this story with Swerve. Like, ASAP. So Finn Balor walks into the locker room with Undisputed Era. Balor says he's looking for payback. He says they're all grown men, and they know why he's here. So are they in, or is he still sucking meals through a straw? Rudy gets angry. Roger Strong. But Cole holds him back. O'Reilly says he's in. Santos Escobar is walking around the ring, folks. And he says a real champion does what he wants. When he wants, he is the NXT Cruiserweight Champion for life. Now, I saw a tweet from Buddy Murphy retweeting Escobar's tweet saying that you haven't beat me. Escobar retweeted Buddy Murphy's tweet and said, anywhere, anytime, anywhere. Does this mean that Buddy Murphy could be going back to NXT? Could WWE be sending him back to NXT? If he is being sent back to NXT, then my question is, why? Why would they be sending Buddy Murphy back to NXT when, if anything, Aleister Black needs to go back to NXT? How does this make sense? If it's happening, how does this make sense to send Buddy Murphy back to NXT and keep Aleister Black on SmackDown? How? When you're not using Aleister Black, all you're doing is keeping him on TV just cause you're mad, Vincent Bruce, because Zelina Vega, because you caught Zelina Vega with her online fans page account. I just don't think it makes any sense to send Buddy Murphy back to NXT, but I think it would be a good match now. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to take that away from WWE. Santos Escobar versus Buddy Murphy for the Cruiserweight Championship would be a good match. I mean, given that Buddy Murphy is a face. So I guess you could say it makes sense and it doesn't at the same time. But I'm going to stick with the fact that it doesn't make sense. So, anyways, when he wants. So he is the NXT Cruiserweight Champion for life. A true champion doesn't have curses like Johnny Gargano or a glass jaw like Finn Balor. They act like champions, but it's all pomp and circumstances. And they can't even defend the title like Karrion Kross. It must be a heavy chip on their shoulders. But he backs up everything he has said and beat everyone that stepped in his way. Escobar congratulates Jaquan, or should I say Jacquin, and Rael for winning their first match in the Dusty Classic, and they're on track to being tag team champions. Together they will be real champions. Now, does this mean that Legado del Fantasma could be winning the whole tournament? Interesting. That's an interesting note by me. That's an interesting question by me. By Ingram Wrestling News. I still think the Grizzled Young Veterans are winning it, regardless. Still think they're winning. Still going with them. They are a legit tag team, and I think they deserve to win this tournament. Period. Now, Lucha House Party run down to the ring and brawl with Legado del Fantasma, but the numbers get the better of them. Now, Kurt Stalin runs down and evens the numbers, and they clear the ring. So I imagine it's going to be a 6-man tag match booked for a 205 Live this Friday. Even though nobody watches it. I mean, who the heck watches 205 Live? They need to just freaking get rid of that. Please get rid of 205 Live and Main Event, because nobody cares about those brands and nobody watches it. Nobody watches it. I mean, 205 Live barely has anybody watching now. I mean, they're barely getting views because nobody cares. Just throwing it out there. Who gives a shit? Nobody wants to watch a freaking, 25, 30-minute, 205 Live show. Are you serious? I think everybody would much rather watch a 2-hour episode of SmackDown than to watch a, 20-30 minute episode of 205 Live every Friday nights after SmackDown? Are you serious? Come on, man. You got to be kidding me. Why am I even mentioning main event in 205 Live? I don't even care. Really. I only watch SmackDown on Friday nights. That's it. That's all I need right there. That's all I need to go live for my Friday Night SmackDown review right there, man. And speaking of Friday Night SmackDown, my Friday Night SmackDown review will be live this Friday night. Before that, the WWE SmackDown live stream will be live during SmackDown this Friday, which happens to be tomorrow. Bet you all can't wait to join my damn live chat for my WWE SmackDown live stream. We're going to be talking some wrestling while we watch SmackDown. Shoot. Talking some anime, some mangas. Talk about what I can do. Talk about what you want me to do next on my channel. What new content you want me to bring next on the channel. What games do you want me to see? Do you want to see me play? Do you want to see me buy? Or play? Rather. Now, Drake Maverick and Killing Dane are in interview. Commanders it and says they're best friends. Best friends who will run through their competition in the Dusty Classic. Dane says he So, we got the fight pin match. The main event of NXT. I don't know who the heck was watching this match, but I think, even though I'm not a fan of Timothy Thatcher, I still think this match between Timothy Thatcher and Tomasso Ciampa was pretty good. Yeah, I saw it. It was a good match. So we got Tomasso Ciampa versus Timothy Thatcher. Now, the bell rings with both men standing on the platform. Above the pin. Tomasso Ciampa makes for Thatcher and they still brawling. Ciampa attempts to hit Willow's bell on the platform, but Thatcher counters him and chokes him on the railing. Thatcher delivers European uppercuts, then hits a snap suplex on the wooden platform. Ciampa slams Timothy into the railing and starts putting the boots to him over and over. Ciampa chops the chest repeatedly against the railing, then puts him under the metal bar and chokes him before hitting a rather good catapult, I guess you could say. We return to find both men inside the pin, and Ciampa slams Thatcher into the cage before hitting a running knee to the face. The referee starts counting. You can only win by tap out or knockout. Thatcher does get up and manages to run Ciampa shoulder first into the corner. of the cage. Thatcher bends Ciampa's hand around the ring, or around the steel garter, but Tomasso kicks him away. Thatcher bounces Ciampa into the cage and hits a belly to belly. Thatcher applies a Kimura and tries to get the tap, but Ciampa wriggles free. Thatcher grabs Ciampa's fingers and slams them into the mat. Ciampa tries to fight back, but Thatcher grabs him with a sleeper hold. Ciampa can't get away and grabs the cage, then delivers a low blow to break the hold. The referee checks on Thatcher, but Ciampa drags him over the referee's back and hits Willow's bell. The referee counts, but Thatcher gets to his feet. At 9, Ciampa hits a running knee against the cage and looks for the fairy tale ending, but Thatcher breaks free. They trade shots in the middle of the ring. Back and forth until Thatcher breaks him into the cage. So once they break free, they trade shots in the middle of the ring, back and forth until Thatcher backs him into the cage. Ciampa grabs him by the head, slams Thatcher into the cage. Then it's the fairy tale ending. The referee starts counting, but it's not enough for Ciampa, who grabs a sleeper, tries to make Thatcher tap. Thatcher struggles and breaks free, then applies a stretch muffler to Ciampa around the corner of the pin, and Ciampa taps. So now Thatcher is a two-time fight pin champion. It was a good match. It wasn't too bad, I guess you could say. Overall, that was the end of the show. Anyways, overall, this was a top drawer episode of NXT. The Dusty Rhodes Classic time period is usually... This show delivered in all 3 matches, 3 huge upset wins, but each on making perfect sense, both in ring and from a story development point of view. Firstly, Kushida and Gargano reminded us why they are some of the best technical wrestlers on the planet. Kushida has been floating for too long and needs a bit push or significant story. Hopefully a North American title win will do wonders for him. I think we got 3 very unique, incredibly good tag team matches on NXT last night. Not something that we have been able to say for a while. Something I'm sure you all haven't been able to say for a while either. The Dusty Classic is off to a fire so far. MSK were incredibly enduring in their Boris inspired kind of stoner, but more so goofy promo Vagnet. Lucha House Party finally backed up everyone's weeks of undying praise as they showed why, with the right in-ring story, they can be great. But what are they still doing on NXT? It's the real question. Is it because of the tournament? Or is it because of their feud with Phantasm? That question still remains. The contract between European pure style wrestling and showmanship contract Mexican Lucha Libre was a fantastic, simple story. The post-match angle featuring the tease of Walter and the return of Wolf adds a great justification to Imperium's defeat from a character development perspective. The fight pin was solid. It's not really everyone's cup of tea. It might be some people's cup of tea, but not everybody's. But some of us appreciate the work done to sell the legitimacy and threat of this feud. Endure. And I'm sure some of you wish you cared about the feud at all going into this match. Now, myself, Ingram Wrestling News, my only primary criticism of NXT at current would be that there are a few people in NXT right now on the cusp of something great who need a big meaty feud to sink in their teeth into, including Bronson and Reed. Kushida, Reed, and Kross need to be doing something different to what they are doing now in order to elevate themselves to the next level. Kross in particular is back at the start from a booking perspective. I mean, I've seen the man defeat Ciampa and Keith Lee handily. There is no reason for me to be impressed that he defeats Ashante, Adonis, or Desmond Troy with ease. Now, the Priest match and short story was great, but there needs to be more sooner rather than later. So, before I end this review, I just want to let you know there are lots of great stuff announced for next week's NXT. We got Current Stantlin versus Santos Escobar for the Cruiserweight Championship, which I kind of figured. I thought it would be a 6-man tag team match on 205 Live, but I think that's what's going to happen this Friday after Friday Night SmackDown. 205 Live. Nobody watches it. Nobody cares. But not only we got Current Stanley versus Santos Escobar for the Cruiserweight Championship, but we got Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez versus Aaliyah and Jessie Camilla. And then we got Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly versus Danny Burch and Arnie Larkin. And then we got Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell versus the debuting Priscilla Kelly and Elena Black. Wonder how good that debuting team's gonna do for the Women's Dusty Rhodes Classic. Folks, that's gonna do it for your Thursday, January 21st, 2021 NXT review. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you enjoyed this review, please hit that thumbs up. It helps the channel, it helps the video, and it helps the live streams. Folks, I am getting the heck out of here. That's gonna do it. I got a few announcements to make before I get on out of here. Number one, my WWE Friday Night SmackDown live stream will be live before SmackDown comes on. It will be live at around 7, maybe 7:50 or 7:51, maybe. I don't know. And after that, of course, my Friday Night SmackDown will be live right after that. And before both of those, I will be live on Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War tomorrow and Friday. So be tuning in for that. More Call of Duty content coming to the channel this week. And also, I think I got an Ingram Wrestling News video dropping this Saturday. I'm not sure. I may have to look into doing one for you all. To those of you who want to see more Ingram Wrestling News content on the channel. Also, of course, my Monday Night Raw review will be live next Monday. That show is still going to suck, the show. I don't know what they got booked for Monday Night Raw next Monday's show, but yet, I still believe the show's going to suck. Like it always does. And folks, the Monday Night Raw viewership has come in. It went up. It doesn't matter. It still doesn't explain why the shows still suck. It still doesn't fix the ratings. It still doesn't fix the lowest viewership and ratings in history. Oh, my goodness. Anyways, I'm getting out of here, man. I wish you all a happy, good Thursday. And you'll hear from me this afternoon on my Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War stream. I'm going to be streaming some Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War this afternoon. So be tuning in for that once that goes live. Be joining the chat. Peace. I am out.